So sure, my emotions get ahead of me sometimes when I see people punching down.
You are a retired police officer. As a cop, did you have those same emotions that would come out at times?
I would imagine that that type of empathy played a part in me being in policing and wanting to defend people that weren't quite as strong.
But people who get angry like that, and especially in high-profile, dangerous positions such as a cop is in, that's not a good position to be in when you're an angry person. Do you agree to that?
I don't know. I mean, anger is an emotion, so it depends how you use it. It's what your actions are that you should be judged upon, not about some arbitrary ruling of an internal feeling that is projected.
But anger is an abnormal emotion. It's not normal to have anger.
That's a claim you're making.
Especially for men.
Does everybody know what anger is? It's completely not abnormal. So I don't know what that means. That would be like saying love is abnormal. It's an emotion, so it's a matter of how you manage that emotion. There's no such thing as a bad emotion.
But you can't manage anger. Anger controls you.
I just did.
No one can manage anger.
That is a really weird statement. I don't know how to go past that. Of course you can manage anger.
No.
All right, well, we're going to have to move on because I'm angry with you and I'm not beating you, so I guess it's managed.
Do you agree with me that it's abnormal for a man to have anger?
No.
It's not an abnormal position for a man, or state of being for a man to have anger?
No.
Really? What is a man?
A human being. That is, I don't know, define man yourself. I think a man is someone who doesn't punch down and who defends people that are less privileged than they are and takes responsibility and accountability for their actions instead of pointing on others. That's what I would say.
When you say who doesn't punch down, what do you mean?
Punching down. Whenever you blame someone that has less resources, less assets, less availability in life to access life's rewards, those people you don't punch down on. So you don't make a joke about somebody who is LGBT in a community where they're willing to kill somebody that's LGBT. You don't punch down. That's disrespectful and it's childish, and that's not a man.
And so is there love in anger?
Yeah, absolutely there can be. So, for instance, my emotional break in policing and really breaking out of the culture was watching the murder of Tamir Rice. So that anger that I felt watching a young man be murdered on the streets of our country by people we have paid taxes for that denied any responsibility for that murder angered me so much that it ignited my empathy to go out there and put my entire body at risk and everything about me at risk to be judged because I could not allow for that anger to be held anymore for anyone else.
And who was Tamir Rice again for the folks?
Tamir Rice is a 12-year-old child from Cleveland who was playing with a BB gun in a park. He ended up putting that BB gun in his pocket. Police responded and applied the worst possible tactics and training with an officer that should have never been hired, and that individual murdered Tamir Rice and prevented any medical assistance for him, and it's on camera. And that is what our society and policing has allowed. So anyone that defends that and allows that to occur, that is not a man, and that is somewhere where my anger will be directed in a controlled and positive manner to enforce change.
Had Tamir Rice kept the little tab on the BB gun,
that's punching down. That's punching down, and I will not tolerate it.
Which indicated that it was a BB gun.
No.
Would he be dead today?
Okay. So this is a child.
Situation?
This is a child right here. Tamir Rice was being a man, and you were being a child, blaming a 12-year-old for the improper handling of a BB gun. That's what you're doing. You're blaming a 12-year-old child, and you call yourself a man? Out of here.
Are you able to answer that question?
What was the question?
If Tamir Rice had not taken off the little tab on the BB gun to indicate that it was a BB gun and not a real gun, so when he pulled it out...
How do you know Tamir Rice took off that tab?
When the folks who saw him in the park with the gun...
How do you know Tamir Rice took off that tab?
Let me just finish the question.
No, you started with the premise.
They would have known that it was a BB gun. Would he be alive today?
No, we have no evidence of that. You have no reason to make that claim. Philando Castile did everything possible, and you still can be killed by the police doing everything you do, and you sit there and you made a claim that Tamir Rice... You made a claim that a 12-year-old boy who was murdered by taxpayer dollars had some responsibility to take off and actually took it off. That's your claim. He took it off. You have no evidence for that whatsoever.
I didn't make a claim. The question was if he or whomever took it off, the little thing that indicated
claim implies that
it
it's
was to
there.
be
How is that not a
begun,
claim?
would he have been alive today?
Why do
And
you
you're
not-
not answering that question for some strange
I
reason.
can't, because you're making a claim that the orange tip was on the gun, or that that gun even comes with an orange tip. You have no idea.
Are you implying that black people are victims?
No, I'm implying that Tamir Rice was a victim that you are punching down upon.
What type of victim was he?
A victim of police brutality from state-sanctioned murder and injustice from the entire criminal justice system and every process from a society with attitudes like this that allow it to happen.
When you were a cop, why did you become a cop?
I mean, nobody becomes anything for any one reason. You have a plethora of things that come in and shape who you are from your environment and things that occur to you through life and the way you're raised. So part of it was watching cops and wanting to chase drug dealers and have an adrenaline thrill, and part of it was wanting to help people. But the vast majority for me was I wanted to have fun.
You're also a liberal, right?
No, I shed those labels of what liberals are. So as much criticism as you would possibly have for liberals painting Trump in some bullcrap story that they fabricated about his ties to Russia, I'm with you. I mean, that's bullcrap. There's a lot of things. Whether it's right or left, it's these paradigms that are tricking us.
The problem with you and what you have is, and people like you.
I have a problem?
Yes.
What is that?
It's that when it comes to black people, you guys tend to have a false sense of love for black folks.
Who is your
And
people?
you
Though? I
call
just
them-
told you I wasn't a liberal, and you're saying me as a liberal does this. I just told you I'm not a liberal, and I gave you an example of how everything I fight for, half of it is rooted in conservative mentality.
Is part of your mission is to help poor people or to help black people?
Yeah, I like to follow Jesus' model in that.
You believe in Jesus?
I believe in that being somebody that is benevolent in the example that Jesus led is absolutely something admirable to look up towards.
So do you believe in Jesus?
As a character, I believe in him no more than Harry Potter.
I'm not understanding. Do you believe in Jesus? You mentioned Jesus. Do you believe in Jesus?
As equally as Harry Potter.
What
That
does
is a
mean?
direct
What does
comparison.
that mean?
It's a fictional character.
And that's how you see Jesus?
Yeah, sure. But you can get a lot of value out of fictional characters.
And what type of values?
You think that what we just said isn't a good value? To
Where
help
do-
the poor, that's not a good value?
And
Because
I-
Jesus told me to go help the poor, and I'm following that, and I think that's a good value.
And do you consider the blacks to be poor?
I mean, I don't even know what you mean by blacks. What are you saying by blacks? You say that term when you're the darkest skinned one sitting here,
As
and you're
black
asking
as-
me about blacks.
But you seem to be
you're
into
asking me
the
about black
black-
people. What do you define as black?
You seem to be into the black thing. I asked were you trying to
What is the black
help the
thing?
black
Define
poor.
your terms. What is the black?
Do you see black Americans as being
What
poor?
is black? Define your term.
I don't. That's a ridiculous question. You don't. Me. You see me? I'm black.
Okay, so you're black.
Would you consider that as being black?
I don't know. You define your term.
What's wrong
I
with
haven't
you
been able
that
to
you
nail down
can't
your
tell?
terms yet. Because I define black as that which stands against white supremacy, because that's what we're actually talking about. So when these races were fabricated, we had Italians and the Irish were considered black, because it was that which stood against the white supremacy that was established at that time. So blackness as a concept is that which is fighting. So whether you're black, brown, red, or whatever, you're still in that category conceptually.
That's
so
amazing. You fight against whites with black people because you see them as white supremacists. Am I hearing you right? I understand. What is white supremacist?
Well, so in our country right now, what we're operating in is a white version of supremacy. So it's just elite supremacy. At times, during the Ottoman Empire, we had brown supremacy. Right now, because of colonization and the system that was established from slavery, we are operating in a system of white supremacy.
So what does that look like in America today? Because I can't recognize it. How do I recognize that? White supremacists against black folks.
The housing bubble is the most recent one. So while everything was crafted towards 70% of the income that was lost from the housing bubble, black families lost 70% of their income on average, white families under 10%. Redlining in school districts, environmental poisoning. So the reason black communities have more violent crime is because they were intentionally redlined by government laws and leasing regulations to put them in certain communities that already had lead poisoning. And you can breathe like you want to interrupt me, but the reason you want to do that is because these facts really up with your paradigm.
No, I want to interrupt you because what you're saying is ridiculous.
Well, It's scientific. You can look it up. I
It's
mean, you got a
ridiculous.
computer in your hand. Just like
No,
type in Google.
I will find it on the computer, but just more mess that liberals made up, lies.
Why would you fight against children being lead poisoning and you think I should honor your
Are
position?
you saying blacks lost their homes
Again, please
because
define
of
black.
white supremacists? Are you saying that?
No, they lost their home because what we have done is we have institutionalized white supremacy in our system, such as the correctional system, such as the banking system. So for
But that's not why they lost their home, Michael. They lost their homes because they couldn't afford to pay for them and never should have gotten those loans.
Do you enjoy interrupting me? Does it make you feel good?
But I can't let you just go on and on because you're talking a bunch of stuff that's totally wrong. And
I'm talking about things that you've never researched and you think are wrong because Fox News told you that.
But you only believe it because someone else told you. You read some stat that was made up by some
I'm actually
godless
educated, so
liberal.
I do the work myself. I go back.
You
And
say
stop
you're
saying
educated?
liberal. Stop saying liberal. What are you if you keep hanging on liberal, it's like your weak link. It's like your tick. You're like facts liberal, facts liberal, facts liberal. Like you can't help it. I don't understand.
Are you a liberal?
No,
I mean, you're not a liberal.
Oh, here we go again.
Are
Liberal,
you a white
liberal.
Are you a white supremacist?
No.
Why is it that you're not a white supremacist? You're a white man. You're a white cop.
No, I explain.
What separates you from the rest of the white cops?
I just explained to you. This white supremacy is a system of institutions and policies and legislation. I'm not blaming individuals. So whenever you focus on individuals, it's just going to go right in one ear out the other because it's not about individuals. It's about the systems which guide our country. Lead poisoning is the #1 correlate to violent crime. So you put a particular people in a particular area, 22 years later, when they're violent, you go, oh my God, look, it's because they're black. No, it's not. It's because we have systems of institutions who put those people in those places for specific reasons, knowing you are going to poison them, so they can continue to fuel things like you punching down on victims of this system so that they can all allow us to fight one another when we're really on the same team.
Who controls the system?
Nobody. It's ambiguous.
So the system controls itself.
Right now, obviously. Right. So right now, Princeton study that everybody can look up.
That's amazing, Mark.
I know it's amazing, and I know it's blowing your mind, and so you're about to say liberal.
It's amazing that you believe, being a young man, I understand it. You say you're educated, right? So that explains
I still haven't gotten you to define black yet, so I'm waiting for your education to help me.
I'm black. My skin color is black.
Okay, so that doesn't make any sense to me when you just say you're black because of your skin. So why are we having a conversation about blackness? There are black people in the audience. Talk to them.
Let me ask you this. Why are blacks in prison? Why
is black?
Why are they committing a crime? If they didn't commit the crimes, would they be in jail?
Of course.
How's that?
It's demonstrably provable. The Innocence Project, anyone want to look them up, they've already gotten hundreds of people off of death row by using DNA to prove that they weren't even anywhere near that area.
You can find exceptions to anything. People make mistakes in life. But majority of blacks are in jails and prisons because they are committing crimes.
That's absolutely
Do you agree
not
with that?
No, that's absolutely not true.
That's amazing.
I'm going to